Today, we're going to be showing you how to make fried rice for only 58 cents a serving.
Hey Provident Preppers, I'm Sam. Today we're doing another frugal friendly food and we're gonna do a pretty basic iteration of fried rice. Now there's lots of ways that you can do fried rice. Some people like to add shrimp, some people like to add chicken. I've even heard of people doing beef, never tried that one. Heard it's good, but today we're just gonna do a pretty basic fried rice. First thing that we gotta do though, we gotta put our rice in the rice pot. A couple of notes when we're preparing our rice. I did 2 cups of rinsed rice, and personally I like rinsed rice. I feel like it makes it softer and a little bit fluffier. The other thing, I like to do the soy sauce while I'm cooking the rice and just have it as part of my liquid. Because of this, I also don't salt the rice. But I feel like this helps get the soy sauce, you know, that little flavor, it gets into the rice and not just on it. Our rice just popped. It's time to get going. We're gonna do some of the prep work. First thing, green onions, of course. It goes without saying to wash all of your vegetables that you use in any dish, but since we're using green onions, we're gonna chop some of these guys up. The green onions, generally when I use green onions, I like to saute them into things, not on this dish. All right, and as I was cutting the onions, look who showed up. Look
Hello.
at this guy. Dude, he's getting so big. Anyway, so since he's here, and fried rice is actually one thing that I remember him really liking a lot. And so I'm gonna teach him how I make this. So we have our green onions, we have our vegetables. I don't steam these when I do mine. You can, but I feel like it makes it a little bit mushy, and the rice and the eggs are gonna warm it up enough as it is. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna crack 3 eggs into a bowl. Now we're gonna get a fork and beat the eggs. Now, when we've done frugal friendly foods in the past, we've talked about how meat is generally the most expensive thing that's gonna go into our recipes. The nice thing with this, although eggs are still expensive right now, it is a little bit more cost effective. Another good one that you can use Spam. That's pretty good in fried rice. Shrimp is a little bit pricey, but you also generally use less of it than you would something like chicken. Let's get to cooking. This is heating up. I have it on kind of a medium-high type heat. That's mainly just for cooking the eggs. You don't need a whole lot of heat because the rice is already hot, and that's gonna warm the vegetables. So yeah, let's get to cooking. We've put some olive oil in here, and we're just getting it nice and coated around there. The wok is fairly hot, and so what we're gonna do is we're gonna throw our eggs in there. This is the biggest thing that's gonna end up being frying. Like when you think about the fried rice, this is the only thing that we're actually frying is the egg. And I'd like to say that there's some technique in the egg cooking. For some people there probably is, but for me, there's not really. Also, I am gonna make a note really quick. We are using a wok. It is my personal belief that every human being who ever cooks stir fry or anything like unto it should have a wok. And I know, you know, some of you are thinking, you know, this is frugal friendly foods. Why are you concerned about a wok? Number one, this is gonna help you avoid spillage. It's really easy to spill things like stir fry because you stir them a lot. And you know, sometimes you're tossing them. This, you can notice it has kind of, it's a taller pan and it has rounded edges, which helps to kind of center things, kind of like if you were to toss it, helps to center it more up and then back down rather than out. So, also on that note, this wok that we have here is like $7 at Walmart. And you can get better options, but like you're not really losing out on a whole lot here because you know the pan is still carbon steel. It's not like you're dealing with aluminum or anything like that. So yeah, our eggs are just about fried. I know a lot of people that like to do it on higher heat and just cook them faster and harder. I like my eggs to be, I don't want to say undercooked because I don't like that, but I definitely like them to be a little bit softer. But yeah, we're gonna let these kind of cook just a touch more. So we're gonna take the rice, which, remember, we cooked the soy sauce into the rice. So that was a bad decision. Now the main thing that we're gonna do with the rice, because we're really not cooking the rice, the biggest thing that we're doing is we're kind of busting up the lumps. You can see we're getting it nice and mixed. And you can add more soy sauce during the cooking process if you like a little bit more. You know, you kind of just got to feel it out, learn what you like. All right, now we're gonna add our vegetables. First thing, we're gonna add the green onions. Throw those in there. Give it a little stir. Let them get nice and mixed in there. And then we're gonna add our peas and carrots. That's my favorite choice. That was a lot. We're just gonna add the rest just because we like our veggies. And mix that around. And since those peas and carrots are really cold, we want to make sure that we give this some time to, you know, let them thaw up to the temperature of the food. That's why some people like to steam it first, but I feel like you get kind of a little bit more of a normal tasting vegetable like this. All right, now to finish it off, I like to take a little bit of sesame oil. This stuff isn't 100% necessary. Dad's been making fried rice for years without it, and it's turned out great. But this just gives it a little bit of aromatic. I usually like to throw in about a tablespoon and stir it around again. You can hear it sizzle a little bit. That is the sesame oil. Once it gets mixed in, sizzles into it a little bit, and we're done. All right, so I think it's time that we dig in and dish some of this up, give it a taste test. We just kind of in the interim while we're doing this, I want to talk a little bit about the frugal side of this. When it comes to the rice, this bag right here is 88 cents and you get about 2.5 cups. That sounds really great. It's about 35 cents a cup until you go here and, you know, you buy this bag for a little bit over $10 and it ends up being about 20 cents a cup. That's a 15-cent difference between this bag and the big bag, which we calculated it out. It'll save you about $7 if you were to buy this much rice with these bags. So, I mean, I'd rather spend $7 elsewhere, personally. Another thing that we looked at was if you were to go to, you know, get takeout, get fried rice at takeout, if you were to just get the fried rice, even for like the smaller portion, you're gonna be paying like $4.50 for this. This entire thing cost less than $4. It cost about $3.50, I think it was. Depending on how many servings you use, you'll end up, like we did about 6 servings, and that came out to be, what did we decide, 58 cents a serving, which is pretty darn good. For us, it's really nice because, you know, eggs are still slightly expensive right now. We got the eggs from our chickens, which took a little bit of the cost off. So some of the options that we have, and they're pretty much limitless. Mom described it as cleaning out the fridge into the wok. And that's pretty true. You can mix it up any way that you like. You can throw Spam. You can dice some Spam and cook it in while you're doing the eggs. I personally don't like to have undercooked Spam, so I wouldn't throw it in with the vegetables or anything, but definitely fry it into the eggs if you have leftover luncheon meat. We've used the bags of rotisserie chicken a couple of times. The options are there, and so I don't know. It's time for you to just play around with them and see what works for you, what you like. So,
Now for the question of the day. What are your favorite ingredients to put into fried rice? Comment below.
And thanks for being part of the solution.